Welcome back, Commanders. Today we're going to go over Mass Effect multiplayer rumors. But first, if this is your first time on the channel, click the link below to turn red to gray, subscribe to the channel. We truly appreciate your support. And stay tuned as we're going to go over the multiplayer rumors, some of the games that are already multiplayer in an Unreal Engine, and what we would like to see. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, welcome back, Commanders. So we're going to go over what the rumors are for Mass Effect. Mass Effect multiplayer, starting with a tweet recently sent out by Nick Baker, who's a co-founder of the XboxEra.com. He recently tweeted out that he had heard a multiplayer rumor about EA releasing Mass Effect player, or at least showing off some of the gameplay of Mass Effect multiplayer for their EA Play Live event scheduled for July 22nd. His tweet goes on to read, "Just received word that there's a pretty good chance that the multiplayer for Mass Effect 3 in the Legendary Edition will be revealed/announced at EA Play." So that's pretty exciting. Just to kind of go over what we've heard so far from, those making the game, Mac Walters basically started off saying that they had to opt out to cut the mode out, or opted to cut the mode out entirely and focus on the single player campaign for a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons is there was so much work needed into the single player campaign to ramp up all the assets and really rework a major portion of Mass Effect 1 to make it more playable by today's standards. Going over what Mass Effect's multiplayer is, Galaxy at War is Mass Effect 3's cooperative multiplayer mode where players work together to take down increasingly difficult hordes of enemies. Players can play as other alien races with a mix of familiar classes and abilities. So basically, the big draw about Mass Effect multiplayer was you get to play, I think it's 6 different classes and up to 12 different alien races. So it really gave you a view into playing as like a Turian sniper or, a Quinari assassin, whatever play type you wanted to explore, you virtually could with Mass Effect multiplayer. And overall, it was a pretty big chunk of the original what Mass Effect 3 had to offer, with multiplayer actually tied into the galactic readiness for the war asset table that you were building throughout Mass Effect 3 for the final push. In February, director Mac Walters explained to an article, or to a report at Game Informer, saying, "I think people underestimate what it's like to do this game, because at every step you're given an agonizing choice of, is this the thing that we want to spend our time on and really try to improve it? And where will this lead us down the road if we complete? I feel strongly that we've chosen the things that the majority of the fans are most passionate about." So really, they, when they created the Legendary Edition, they did it through the arc of what is the fan base, the single player campaign fan base, what are they going to want most? He went on to say that getting all these online systems working and a functionality would have been another large chunk to do, but at the same time there are a lot of logistics involved. Basically citing the economy is built completely different. The questions come up like, do we support multiplayer post-launch? What about people who are still playing multiplayer today? Do we try to find a way to somehow cross-play between the original like PS3 and PS4, type of stuff like that? Their tune kind of changed though around the launch of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Basically, Mac Walters again was in an interview with CNET stating, "I would never say no to that. We want to see what kind of reception the Legendary Edition gets and what demand for the multiplayer is." Walters then added, "And then we'll ask ourselves if we have the resources and the time to bring it up to the quality level we want and fans want." So I think that's very intuitive of kind of what what they plan on doing if they are able to do it. So really, it's going to be a regeneration or a remaster or a legendary version of Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. The unique draw of having 6 different classes and 12 different playable races. But as a multiplayer game as a whole, the what you're able to do is kind of limited, because you're limited off of what the original Unreal Engine 3 and 360 slash PS3 offerings were able to do at that point. So my question to you all is, is that the multiplayer you want? I mean, I know I would love to play it, but I also would like to have them explore something, which might take a little more time and draw a little bit more on the resources. There's a game out that just came out not too long ago called Enlisted. It came out first on PC, and now it's currently on PS5 and Xbox Series X. Enlisted is a really unique version of multiplayer because right now it's World War II based. It's done on the proprietary engine of the company that made it, so it's not Unreal engine per se. But what they do in that system is they take one of the battle modes you have is it's kind of like Battlefield in the sense that you have points to capture like in conquest mode. But the unique part about this is instead of filing 30, 60, 90 people in it at a time, is instead of filing in 30 to 60 or 90, 100 players in one server, you can actually play as a squad of 4. So you have yourself and you have 3 AI members that you can cycle back and forth in between. Let's say one of your team members goes down, then you just cycle into the next person in your squad. See, it's very squad based. So imagine if my vision would be something 12 players on a map in the Mass Effect universe, with each team member having their own squads. So you have a squad of 4 at 6, that's 24 players, 6 players real players and 18 that are AI, versus the same amount, 6 real life players and 18 AI, and you just kind of battle each other for either it's a conquest or a team deathmatch or whatever you kind of want to do. But imagine the possibility of having 12 different playable races and 6 different character classes within each squad that you could continue to level up. And that's kind of what the draw of Enlisted is you have different squads, and each squad has its own RPG mechanic where you're trying to level them up through XP, and then you're able to unlock other items. Some of it is microtransaction based, and I know EA would love to do that, so that's a big piece of it. But let's say even because Enlisted, how it's uniquely positioned itself in the multiplayer big battle scene, we have something, and everyone cover your ears that it's under 18. I apologize. I'm going to say the A word. We have Anthem. And Anthem is, had a lot of great things about the actual playing of the game. The story was terrible. There wasn't a lot to do. It was very very grind heavy. But if you take that and convert those assets from Anthem and just redress them as, multiple races from the Mass Effect universe, the code for how everything works. Nobody really complained about Anthem not being fun to play from a battle perspective. They complained it was boring because there was nothing to do. There was no roadmap. There was no communication. But how the assets worked in engine on a map was phenomenal. If you just redress it as something from the Mass Effect universe, and it's not easy. It's not going to be done tomorrow. It takes a lot of time. To recreate all those assets, but the coding's already done. EA's already spent the money. They've already lost their money. That's written off their books. So if you're able to build upon that, it's all free. As far as they're concerned, that money's already spent and gone. So if you're able to build upon that engine and that world and change it to the point where you're playing Mass Effect in real life, multiplayer with different iterations of team deathmatch and horde mode, of course we want that, but different iterations of what you can do, it just makes it so much more unique and encompassing, and I think it'll draw more players in outside of the Mass Effect fan base. I really think it would give this another feather in the cap for EA's. Every year we're releasing something that's online playable and there's microtransactions involved outside of sports, outside of Battlefield, outside of whatever they're creating, and whatever other games like Apex that they can kind of spit out without really having to invest too much into it. So I think there's an opportunity there. I don't know if that's something they'll do. That's what I hope. That's what I envision. But just even going back, if we got the real just revamped what the original Mass Effect multiplayer was, You know, there's a lot they could still do to enhance it inside of the Unreal 3 engine. You know, Unreal 3 engine was responsible for a bunch of good games. I mean, we're talking Army of Two, Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham City Lockdown, Batman Arkham Knight, Batman Arkham Origins, you know, Bioshock Infinite, of course, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Then you have Medal of Honor. You have Medal of Honor Airborne, Mirror's Edge. Well, let's not forget we have Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War Judgment. A ton of huge games, and probably the biggest game that come out of there that nobody really talks about anymore. You guessed it, 50 Cent, Blood on the Sand. I'm sorry, I didn't even know that was a game until I started doing research on Unreal Engine 3. But wow, I can't believe that was a game. But anyways, so with that, I'll wrap it up today. I wanted to keep it, kind of short. But, are you excited about Mass Effect multiplayer? Are you excited to just continue the multiplayer as designed, or do you want it enhanced? Do you want new modes? How do you feel about, repurposing Anthem's, coding and put Mass Effect over it? Leave your comments below. Hit like and subscribe, please. Subscribing really helps the channel. It's free to do. Just turning the button from red to gray, and the channel really appreciates it. Again, we've continued to experience significant growth, so we have giveaways coming up here in the next 2-3 months. We're working on our merch right now, so I'm excited to continue to help grow this channel, and I appreciate everyone that comes in, comments, interacts on the live streams. Let us know in the comments below how what you think about Mass Effect multiplayer. And until next time, we love you guys. Take care.